New tonight at 5, one mountain community is taking action to help protect its drinking water. Frisco has shut down a contaminated well. We first told you last week about dangerous levels of what are called forever chemicals, or PFAS, in the water. Mountain Newsroom reporter Spencer Wilson is live in Frisco with new information tonight. And Spencer, you got a look inside that pump room last week.
Michael, you can listen right now. No sound. That's because those pumps are off at the contaminated well now in Frisco, and they won't turn back on until they've actually installed those new filters, which are expected to pull the PFAS out. But in the meantime, the state health department is saying this is out of abundance of caution. It's not a crisis.
Last Friday's note said Frisco's drinking water had 4.5 parts per trillion of PFOA in the water. That's well over the new EPA recommendation, 0.004 parts per trillion.
Frisco did the right thing by putting out this public information about this situation with their water.
The EPA drastically dropped its threshold for what's considered healthy. And Frisco went from well under the suggestion to way over overnight.
And we've transitioned from using information based on laboratory tests in animals to using information that evaluates the actual health impacts in communities that have been exposed. And we're learning that these chemicals can have health impacts at lower levels than we previously thought.
Around half of Colorado's water systems tested, accounting for 80% of the population. A quarter of those systems tested positive for PFAS. And now, with the new regulations, they're probably way over the line like Frisco. But the state health department says while it's not great, there's no reason to panic right now.
It's a concern. It's not a crisis. We're not saying that everyone should stop drinking their water.
Their message, anyone who didn't test should, so the systems can be cleared up.
We know it's difficult. We know it's challenging. We know that it can feel like this good deed, this positive step, this being proactive isn't necessarily rewarded, but it's the right thing to do.
Now, the last time I was standing here last week, we were telling you that they were not going to shut down this pump room, even though they knew it was contaminated. The idea back then was that if they keep running water through this, eventually the numbers come down, they dilute it, it moves through the system, and it moves out of the system. At this point, they're going to hold off until they install those new filters next summer. Live in Frisco, Spencer Wilson covering Colorado First.
And if you want to test your drinking water for PFAS, you should contact your county health department for information on approved labs. A carbon filter is a low-cost option to filter out most PFAS compounds from your water, but we're told a reverse osmosis filter is the most effective.